UFC 3011 is on its way, and we recently heard that Arman Sarukian will no longer fight, which is a bad news because we really wanted to watch this fight. It was one of the main, like the most interesting to watch because he really wanted to get his revenge, and both of them are really skilled. They are really similar in many ways. For example, the grappling, the submission techniques, and etc. But couples of fights that will also be interested is mainly Jiri versus Hill. And to be honest, this fight will be the most interesting compared to the two remaining because people are really doubting. They are really people really can tell who will win between the two because they are very really dangerous guys because they when when people get someone gets caught with one of their right hands, they most of the time they go to sleep. So they are really dangerous guys. But I have a take on that, and I will tell you later on. I don't doubt. I can predict who will win between the two, but then for me, it's the most important fight compared to the rest. Another one that's will be really interesting is the one between Merab and Umar Nurmagomedov. Uh, because the way they saw this one was really, there was a lot of trash talk between the two. Like it was even going at the point where it was getting really political, and I don't know why, but then for me, the way I can analyze it is that, we might get like a fight that they promised us to, uh, to watch because the way they sold it was, the way they sell it was, in each both of them were really sure of themselves, especially Merab. He thinks he know what he will bring this Saturday, and I'm really interested to see who will win, which I also have a take on that. And then lastly will be um, what's his name again? Islam versus and the his new opponent, which is Maocano, which also is a great fighter, which has also abilities that uh, that might make struggle Islam, especially because these guys are when you see those three fights that will end the UFC 311 this Saturday. All these guys are really similar. That's what I like. When it comes to Jiri, and Hill, they are really similar. When it comes to Umar and Merab, they are similar, and which makes it really complicated to predict who will win in each fight. But I'll also bring my take on that. And the way I will really give my prediction is that I will start by giving the strength and the weaknesses of each fighters, and then give my final prediction for each fight that will happen this Saturday. And to be honest, guys, I'm the most of the time when I predict what will happen, it's end up happening because I believe that I have the way I analyze things, and uh, the, the way I give my prediction, my honest prediction. that's what ended up happening. So if you guys might want to challenge me, it's okay. But one last thing I would like to say before jumping right next to the my prediction is that I would like you, please guys, to subscribe to this channel to support me and to support this young UFC channel so that I might bring you guys more content about this kind of contents. If you like predictions, I'll also do um, uh, you know I'll watch fights lives and you see my reaction. I'll do reaction videos, and for this I'll really like you guys to first please subscribe to the channel and then to support me, and then God might bless you. So if we jump right next to the to my prediction, so I will start off with the fights of Jamahal versus jiri prochazka. And I said earlier that for me it will be the most interesting one because both of these guys are really dangerous. But although they are really dangerous and people say it's a 50-50 and it's we can't really tell who will win. I doubt about that, and I will start by outlining each other's strengths and weakness. Starting off with Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill's strengths. What are Jamal Hill's strengths? He have really good combination. So if you guys remember the fight between Hill versus Glover Teixeira, uh, the way he was punching Glover, man, it was oh, he did really the face of Glover was really battered, and there were a lot of good combinations. Combination mixed up with right hook, uppercuts. Like Jamahal was this that at that time he really shined. It was his main event. Like uh, he blew up these fights. And so the first one is the combination, good combinations. He's really fast as well. As he go fights on and on, he really improved the way he fights, and especially his speed. He's really fast, and most of the time it ends up catching his opponents, and most of the time his opponents get their face really blown and damaged because not only they're fast, but they are really powerful. He has powerful hands. Another thing is that it's really tough to make him take him down. Especially, I was really impressed the way he fought against um, what's the name? The guy who fought Jones. Um, if I might take a look. Um, um, so I'll remember his name, but then what I can say is that the way he fought, like, it's really tough to take him down. I know Glover tried and then managed to take him down a couple of times, but most of the time it's really tough. And another advantage that he has is that um, he's really fast when it comes to 1-2 punches. He almost seems like a real boxer. Like he really have a really boxing technique, a really good boxing technique. But then, despite all of this, he has also some weaknesses, and that we can really identify if we pay attention. Starting off with the kicks that really doesn't reach upward. he does it, but then not often. If you guys remember, also the way he fought Alex, it was like a really gang fight when he made a pause, and then he continued to fight. He paused because Jamal Hill's kick reached to um, uh, Pereira's balls, so it was uncomfortable. So it was really it wasn't nice, but he has struggles to keep his like kicks so that it reaches at least the upper part. Another weakness that I also noticed is that most of the time his head isn't covered enough. He'll just swing out of his shoes. So he 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 doesn't have a good protection. He doesn't include a good defense technique when it comes to covering his face, because that's the main key. If, uh, he might not wants to he might avoid to get punches and shots right on his face, and this might play a big um, you know it might be serious because his opponents, which is Jiri, might focus on that, and then uh, that might really make things that might make him really struggling during the fight. But then when it comes to Jiri, um, they, as I said, they're really similar. Like Jiri has more. Like if I can give an overall, he has more skills. He has flying knee. Okay, he can do flying knee. Also have big shots. He has hammer fists, big elbows, submission technique, uppercuts. Uh, when comparing his skills to Hill, he has more skills like as the one that I've listed. But then, despite that, as of Jamahal, he also has most of his time his face is not covered. He has you know he he really he's really known for taking big risks, and which caused him to have a really bad guard, and his face most of the time is really exposed. So that's why I think people think that it might be struggling, because people think that Hill will just wait for an opportunity from him to come and take a risk, and then automatically throw a right hook, which is really Jamal Hill really is really professional when it comes to right hooks, especially. But then the thing is that Jiri is known for he's a southpaw, so it will be really challenging for Hill to find a way to give a big punch, and especially a right hook, so that he might knock out Jiri. But then Jiri is he's such a weird he has a weird way of his stance, his way of punching. It's really unique. But then the fact that he has more skills, uh, the the fact that the punches are really heavy, and then uh, and most of the time when we see the way he fights, like he really as of Jamahal, he when you compare all of his fights, the his main wins are by knockouts. So it's not it's and it's for good reason, because of his punches that are really um, that his opponents might wonder, because it's heavy, it's powerful, and that I think this one might be a real challenge to to Jamahal, and that's why, for my take, I would say Jiri will end up winning this fight. I'm not sure he'll make. Um, yeah, I think this one might end up with a TKO or a submission, a TKO or a submission, because he is powerful, and then it's unpredictable. As for Jamal, most some of his punches are really predictable, especially against Glover when he started to, lose um, his gas. He was really predictable. He wasn't fast anymore. So that might also be something, that might be a key for Jiri to win against Jamal here. So if we continue to the next one, Umar versus um, Merab. So both of these guys are really, fast. Uh, they're not that heavy, so it's really easy for them to, throw straight jabs, jabs that are really fast, and um, that might be really interesting because I wonder if one of these fighters will end up being knocked out, which I doubt. But I think this one will might end up with an anonymous decision. And for me, I'll take so I'll first outline the strengths of both of these fighters, and starting up with Umar. The way he fights is that he's really fast. He has fast kicks. He has fast shots, like um, really good combination, and especially the takedowns as well. He has really good takedown technique. Like when if we compare the way he fights and the way Merab fight as well, um, both of these guys are really similar, as I said. But then I think Umar does things a little bit more better. He's faster, and then his takedown technique is really, like, he has a really good fighting IQ. Um, as for Merab, he was, especially during his last fight, he really did a good fight, but then he was really on his, he most of the time he was running away, so he wasn't. Although he fought well, I really wanted him to go forward and then pressure more um, his previous opponent. But then, yeah. So for this one, I would say Merab. No, I would say I would take Umar to win by by decision, because I don't think each one will knock each other's out, because they're really close. But then I think Umar do better when it comes to kicks, punches, and takedown. And then, last but not least, will be Islam versus um, Moicano. And um, starting off with Islam's strength, Islam is really fast, like fast punches, good combinations, very good submission technique. Um, like he's a genius when it comes to UFC, like fighting IQ. He has everything. everything. And then he really proved it against a guy like Dustin Poirier. I really thought that Dustin Poirier, even though I knew Islam will win because of his his submission technique and takedown, that his main um, s- uh, specialty, like the way that his main strength is the submission. So the way I was kind of surprised when he was beating uh, Poirier when it comes to punches and boxing technique. He managed to trigger Dustin Poirier's technique so that Dustin Poirier managed to come to his face and make a damage, but then it wasn't possible because he's also, like, as I said, he's a genius. Like, when it comes to, you can bring him to fight in a for like a in a boxing style, he'll beat you. When it comes to submission techniques, he also good at that. When it comes to kick, everything, like um he have like various sets of skills which makes him one of the greatest UFC fighters. And as for Moicano, he's really similar, because he's really similar, but then he does things are really a bit different, because as for Islam, like he really have combination, but then from Moicano, he really punch, the way he punches. He's mostly specialized when it comes to jabs. Like, he has fast jabs, um, and also nasty shots when it comes to the ground. I haven't seen Islam doing so, like really beating heavily his opponents to the ground. Uh, Also has a really good takedown. So this also might be a fight that might be really difficult to predict, but I do think Islam might get up winning this fight, but then not with a TKO, not with a submission, because when both opponents are really good in something, it's really difficult to knock one down, because both they are both strong when it comes to these different categories. So, but the reason I think Islam might win is because he does things, even though there Moicano has also some abilities that might make wondering Islam. I do think Islam might end up winning because he has more skills and he's more experienced, and I think he'll take this one. He'll take this one, but then by decision. So to make a quick recap, I said Jiri will win jamahal by either by knockout or submission, and then I'll take Umar to win against Merab by an unanimous decision, as well as Islam Makhachev. So this is my take, guys, for both of these fights. Please tell me your prediction. What do you think about that? Maybe I said something wrong, or you know, I really want you to write your comments, share your thoughts, so that we make a really good community of people who are really interested in UFC contents. And once again, please subscribe to this channel. It might be very grateful for your part, so that it might this channel might grow up. And see you next time for my reaction for tomorrow.